on, everybody? Welcome back to the Den. I hope everybody is doing very well today. It's been a little bit since I posted, and it goes like that sometimes when you're doing YouTube. So we always preach consistency and commitment. And before you can really get anywhere on YouTube, you got to remember you have to be committed to the process and consistent. So, that is very difficult when you really don't know which direction you want to go in, or you're working in a direction that really is not made for you, but you force yourself to do it anyway. And that is a disaster for consistent content as well as commitment to the process. So today, that's what I'm really talking about, not just commitment and consistency, because those are things that are preached from every YouTuber out there. And I don't want to add to the noise. What I'm really here for to do is to tell you where I'm going and where my headspace is regarding content creation, and what this journey has really been like, and next steps for me. Hope you guys continue to stay with me in the content. If you don't like it and you don't like where this is going, it is what it is. But that's what we're doing today. We're not going to have a whole bunch of bells and whistles. I'm going to tell you kind of where my story is. I know they tell you a lot of times that people do not care about, who you are, what your story is for the most part, but what you can do and how you can help them and how you're helping people in this whole community of content creators. So hopefully in the end, you'll kind of understand what I want to do and how I want to help people, and the tug of war I've had, spiritually and mentally in this last few years of me making content. I'm going to just go ahead and do that right now. So if you've been with me, Aaron EBM, in the content in the last 3 years or so, you've kind of seen what I've started off doing. And I came into the whole YouTube realm during the whole gender war and Kevin Samuels and creators, divestors, whatever you want to call it, that were really running rampant on YouTube. And of course, when you're coming into YouTube, as I've said in previous videos, you're just trying to, for the most part, you're trying to make it. The last decade or two, or the most talked about career was being a content creator. It went from kids wanting to be policemen and astronauts to content creators. And when you're trying to get in, or you're thinking about it, it's no different. Just because it's kids saying it, you want a piece of the pie and really join in and really be just like everything. We're in a world where people are struggling with identity, struggling with who they are, struggling financially, emotionally, spiritually, and everybody is trying to fit in a place where you have millions of people getting validation, you're getting love that you didn't get from your parents or your family, and now all of a sudden you can get that at the click of a button on the internet. And for most people, that's what it's all about. It's not about building a business. It's not about creating something for your family. It's not about, using these platforms as a way to catapult your other endeavors in life, but wanting the validation and wanting to have a place to where people love you and care about you, because on the outside world, you really don't have that. And then when you see people getting the likes and getting the subscribes and the followers, of course, it begins to be a race to the top, not to build yourself, but to actually see yourself be displayed in a sense of vanity. And it's very easy to get trapped into that. And that's how I started the content creation. I was doing what everybody else was doing, want to talk about relationships and what men and women aren't doing. And I've been married for 19 plus years. So I had no skin in the game in this kind of content. I had nothing or no reason for me to even be making this content, yet I was making the content anyway, trying to, gain some traction, gain some notoriety. And what happens is, when you're doing that, and it's not really who you are, or what you want out of life and what you're doing, and really a passion of yours, you just won't care about it. And that's what that's what eventually happened. I just really stopped caring about making this content. Yes, I want people to be better. I want men and women to really understand that this system is playing us against each other in actuality. wanting us to be as far away from each other as possible, because the less people that are together, the more bills are made, and that's just the way it is. Some people like it that way, and some people don't. But that's not what I'm here to really do. And it's taken some. This is going to be a conversation about who you are and what you're really trying to do and who I am. And me, I'm a regular guy. I speak about that in all of my different platforms that I'm on. I'm not somebody that's trying to display or be somebody that I'm not. I am who I am, and I hope the people that really understand that and really want some reality, stick with me in different platforms. If you want somebody that's real or somebody that's positive, this is a place to where you're going to have, I hate saying safe space because that's so cliche, but it is what it is. A safe space to really understand. It's not a place for where popularity thing that where I'm just here wanting something from you and there's nothing you can gain. Several years ago, man, I was in the church, and decided to go back to school. When you are a husband, a father, a full-time employee and a full-time student, how can you balance that, all those three things, and of course put church in there as well? See, I come from a background to where my mother grew up as a Pentecostal lady, and it from her story what she told me before she passed away is that it was so stringent that she didn't want to put that on me as a person, didn't want to actually make me enforce me into church and knowing who God is and accepting him as my personal Lord and Savior, but wanting me to really know who he is and then decide to do what it takes on my own. So I appreciated that, but she never did push me. It pushed me in that direction, so it was fine. She was just wanted to make sure that I knew who God was and to know how to reach God, see God, and get around people that could help me do the same when I'm out in the world. Because reality, this is a hard world. Of course, we had the luxury to be here on the internet, be here on YouTube and all the rest of the platforms, but this is a hard world, and a lot of it is turns into an escape. She just wanted me to understand that, and as years went by, we all live our lives like everybody else. We just go out there and decide to live our lives, and a lot of people don't really come back back to Christ or give their lives over until something traumatic happened. And I didn't want that for me. It was me and my wife. Actually, when we decided to vote our lives to God and Christ, it was, young adults have one child. We were out there, struggling in the projects and arguing like everybody else. You've seen the movies, you've seen all the different dysfunctionality when it comes to that stuff when you're young. And we didn't want that. So before we let anything get worse, we decided to try to go into church. And that's what we did. And we stayed in the church for 5-6 years. It was good. And I went into youth ministry, did all that stuff, because really I have a heart for teenage type kids that are really struggling out here, because that's the demographic that are struggling with their image, their self-image, who they are, what they're doing, their identities, because everything is so wrapped up in these different social media platforms. And if you aren't at the top of these social media platforms, you basically are, in the eyes of these people, you're nobody. And who wants to feel like they're nobody in a world of millions of people? Nobody wants to feel like that. So I wanted to make sure that the people knew that they had a place to talk to someone, knew that they were loved, and knew that they had stories and journeys that they had to go into, and they had to fulfill those things. And you're more than just your social media likes. So that's what I wanted to do for them, and I did it. I made sure that they were okay. But eventually, like everybody else, years go by in the church and things change, and changes, okay. But a lot of times churches get cliquey, and there's no way to even get around it. Churches get cliquey. Our mission was to let people know that we weren't going to be a part of the cliques. We wanted people, no matter who they were or what they looked like or what their actual status was, that they didn't feel like they were shunned and put into a lower social caste. And it's enough of that stuff going on in the world. So why would we need that to go on in a place to where everybody needed to feel love? So when it got to that point, when I was in school and doing all that stuff full time, it just something had to give. I didn't want my family to suffer. I didn't want to put my family on the chopping block because I had all that. We had all that different stuff going on. So we decided to remove ourselves and really just focus on the family. Remove ourselves from the church and remove ourselves from the extra responsibility. And we just bagged out, you know. And as we bagged out, we noticed that, you know, when those I told those busy blinders are off, because when you're busy, you're not really thinking about what's going on for the most part, because everybody's comfortable, everybody's safe, everybody has everything in line, so you're not really thinking about what it looks like from the outside in. And from looking at it, we noticed that a lot of the big churches turned into a conglomerate, not just only a social gathering, but business first, business first before your spirit, your soul, your salvation. And it just didn't feel 100% right. Now, I'm not dogging anybody's church specifically, but this is as a whole, as you look at it, not denomination wise. Who cares? Because I don't even care about that. I'm not even really wanting to call myself Christian anymore. I'm just a fearer of God, a believer of God, and a follower of Christ. That's what I consider myself as. That's just the way I felt because of seeing what happened and looking at the way it's all clicky. And it's enough having groups outside in the world, who's right and who's wrong, and we like it like this, and if you're not like this, it's just enough. We've come to a point in this life, and a lot of us are waking up and having our blinders taken off and removed from social gathering or social acceptance type things that are happening in the church, and we just don't want a part of that. A lot of us are believing that we have missions and we have callings on our life, and we have gifts and talents that need to be used. And if we are worried about the social acceptance in these churches and who's doing this and who's doing that, or who's more important and this and that, we're never going to get anywhere. We're supposed to be building each other up. We're supposed to be helping each other. And we can't do that when we're actually focused on these small things. We're supposed to be like babies in Christ. We're supposed to be asking our Father for assistance, asking the Holy Spirit for help in what we're doing, instead of being led by the outside and what we actually want. And I began to notice this thing too about how men want women to submit all the time, a woman that is traditional and that is going to submit, but that's all biblical. And how are you going to want some woman to submit to you, but you're not submitting to the Father and Jesus Christ? How are you going to ask a woman to submit? Because this is a biblical thing. This isn't just the animal kingdom. You're not a lion, you're not a hippopotamus. This is an animal kingdom. They're just not going to submit to you because you're bigger, stronger, faster. We have souls, we have spirits, I believe, and it is here where we have to realize that if you're going to ask a woman to submit to you, are you submitting to? Are you submitting just to your boss? Because we have conversation about women submitting to their bosses, but not you. And these are things you're going to have to realize that, look, if I'm not living in this life, or I'm not living a certain kind of way, how am I going to ask a woman to submit to me? Just a snippet, and that could be a whole conversation in itself. But these are things that you think about as you begin to really open up your eyes and begin to see what's going on. We sound crazy when we begin to ask these different things and we're not living the lives that we're supposed to live. This is what happened to me in my content. I know there's some kind of calling on my life as far as helping people and wanting people to really be good and really to have an anchor. Making the content from what I was started from making the salacious content into going into career content was good, but it's a good place to want to help somebody in their career or help someone advance into their careers and know that you can change. But that still wasn't right. And as I was praying, really devoting myself back to God, I had the voice tell me that I had to tell you guys what I'm telling you now. That is the way I'm going to help you. Everything else is secondary. Careers is still career. We still have to pay bills, right? I understand that. But what we're talking about right now is the very pinnacle of what happened, what we need and what we need to happen. Because at the end of the day, we can have the best careers in the world. It still doesn't stop you from getting divorced. It still doesn't stop you from self-deleting. It still doesn't stop you from feeling empty. It still doesn't stop you from feeling like no one in this world accepts you or loves you for who you are. And until we get back to what we were supposed to really be doing as far as ourselves being spiritually grounded in God, then it's not going to happen. We're going to forever chase the physical stuff, where these tangible things. And if you're a fan of hoarders, it happens to them, it happens to people, and you don't have to be rich. People start filling their lives up with these tangible things, and they continue to get these tangible things and continue to pile them up, and then they end up with a home full of stuff that they do not want, and it's trashed and it's nasty and disgusting, but they can't throw it away because those possessions are who they are. It no longer becomes a thing that you have because you're blessed to have them, or you get and you obtain them. It becomes a thing to where those things are exactly who you are. It makes you who you are instead of just something that you have. And this has happened to our whole society. And then instead of people saying, look, this isn't quite right, they continue to tell you that you need to continue to purchase this stuff, purchase more stuff, fill those holes up, fill that void, and you'll be okay. But you have to be grounded. You have to be grounded not only mentally but spiritually. And only way that I know and to be is spiritually grounded in God and Jesus Christ. It is what it is. That's what I'm here to do for you guys. I want to tell you guys kind of what happened to me, my journey, how I feel and how I felt, and the things I'm doing to overcome being wrapped up in this entertainment and forever negativity and all this stuff that they try to distract us with, because that's, in the end of the day, that's all it is. It's just distractions. It's just distractions to keep you busy, stop you from actually being who you are supposed to be. Because when you stay wrapped up in it, you'll begin to feel like you're not enough. You'll begin to feel like, this is all I can do is sit here and be mindlessly entertained, and all the great things are for the people that are on the other side of the TV, and none of the great things are meant for the person that are watching. That is another warning that I want you really got to feel to absorb, is that these people on the other side of these TVs, they're not worried about anybody besides what's going on, what is happening and going on with them. And that if they keep you watching, if they keep you feeling like you're not good enough, if they keep making you feel, inadequate, you're going to continue to give them money. You're going to continue to look at them as a pillar, as a anchor, and they're going to continue to make them the people behind the camera, the idols. You continue to idolize them, and they'll continue to have great lives. But each and every one of us have gifts, and I want you guys to know there are spiritual gifts, and there are only gifts that are blessed and that you can do. And if you're focused on what you are not and focused on the other person being great and you're not, you will never realize and actualize those gifts. And that is why I'm here. And I'm sure the content will evolve. I'm blessed to have you have the people that are even watching this right now, and the people that have been here with me from day one. I'm blessed for you guys to even be here, and I appreciate you guys to even want to watch any of this stuff. So guys, this is where my eyes have been open. God has given me another chance. I have health things that I need to talk about to you guys to kind of help you guys if you're in the same shoes that I'm in. And we're going to talk about each and every one of these things as time goes on. But right now I've been wrestling with how to even tell you guys, or how to even speak to you guys when I had that word to deliver to you, because I felt like I wasn't good enough, or I felt like the words aren't good enough, and I felt like all of this stuff. But you guys got to remember, the Bible is where the words are. The Bible is where each and every one of the things that you need to realize in yourself, and realize that where you can help someone else is all in the word of God. That's just what it is. We put this extra pressure on ourselves to be better and to be greater, and when all the Father wants us to do is be the best we can and then spread the word. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to be obedient, and I'm going to spread the word the best way I can, and then hopefully the businesses that I have flourish in return. Also follow me on Aaron Garman Realtor If you want to talk about real estate, if you want a home sold, if you want if you're ready to purchase a home in the area, and we can talk about that too and continue to grow that. Man, we have so much things going on. And it's not just one platform; it's everywhere. And I want you guys. I wanted that is my prayer for those platforms to explode as well, for us to have a beacon of light and not so much negative. We got enough. We have enough twerkers, right? We got enough. We have enough twerkers. We have enough violence. We have enough. We don't have enough anger. We have enough negativity. It's time for us to really start focusing in on something positive and us growing. And we are attracted to those things because we like to see, misery loves company, and if we're miserable, we want to see people be miserable. If we feel like we are in a spot of being debaucherous, we're going to want to see things that are debaucherous. But don't let the society fool you and think that is the only way to go, and we can't flourish and we can't prosper. It's not meant for us to be paupers, but it's meant to us to be at the top of those our fields as well. So guys, that's where I'm starting today, and that's what it is. I'm still rolling with me. If you're still rocking with me, we're still the same people, and we're still the same audience, and I'm still the same person. So I hope you guys continue to watch the content. Until next time, guys, man, you have a good day.